I'm waiting for you to sing.
You what? I would never do such a thing. Oh, how dare you?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while. You like that song? I don't know how the rest of it goes.
That's not even how that one goes.
And it's a terrible song. I'm sorry to say.
Great song.
You would like it.
Of course. I love Stained. I love Stained.
I'm not a fan. Stained, Creed, they're all the same. Nickelback, all of them.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
What is happening, everybody? We are back after being away for a while, and now we come back to you. Vikki brings you her naughty librarian look. I think she looks freaking adorable in her glasses right now.
The problem is that the ring light is really glaring, so sorry, you got it for a whole 4 seconds.
Oh, but now you're not going to be able to see anything. So the rest of the show, she's going to be doing this.
Squinting, to try to read Mr. Magoo.
She's going to be like, oh, Cheryl says we should feel honored.
Angie,
yes,
Angie, long time no see.
We just started, guys.
Long time no see, Angie.
You haven't missed anything other than my antics. What's happening? It is the Sunday Live Haul show. Mm-hmm. We were not here last week, and we also did not do our Wednesday show because we had virtual camp, which I think went about as well as it could. It was sad not being able to actually go to the camp that we normally volunteer at every year in Washington State, but we did it virtually, and it was great to get to see all the campers and some of the kids that were supposed to move up to the next cabin for you got to still have them because they kept all the kids in their old cabins for the virtual. So that's kind of cool because you kind of have a favorite, and so you got to hang out with them.
I got an extra year with my favorite. So we had, I mean, people asked, it went as well as can be expected. I will say we generally have around 75 to 85 campers every year, and we had at least a 50% participation rate online. Not every kid was there for every activity that we did, but there were some that were there for everything. So I think that it was definitely needed. For all of us, the volunteers and the kids, we definitely needed to have that connection, and we felt an obligation to not just say, all right, forget it, we're canceling camp this year. So it was good. It was good. It was good to see. It was good to see our fellow counselors and friends and our camp kids. It was good.
Absolutely. And I see in the chat, Cheryl is, Cheryl was like back in the day in 2017 when I was up for the Shine Award at eBay Open. Cheryl had a really good time chanting my name along with some other people, and she actually sent me like a voice recording of her chanting my name so that I could have it forever and ever. So now she's chanting MVP. I wanted to say at the top of the show, we'll talk about it more later, but for anybody who like watches this late and ends up watching it sometime in the next couple of hours, I was on the virtual flea last weekend, and because I was voted MVP, thanks in part to Cheryl, I'm sure. So thank you, Cheryl. I was the MVP, which means I got invited back to do it again this weekend. So I'm actually going to be doing it today after the show, starting at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. It might be a little bit late because he is running like a little behind.
He's running about 20 minutes late right now.
So if you are watching this later, so for you guys who are watching right now, I would love it if you would come and watch. There's a link down below to the 1980 something co Instagram. Just go and follow him and you can watch that. And for anybody who watches a little bit later, if it is between 4:30 and 5:30 and you're just watching this, quit watching this and go check out my live spot on the virtual flea. And we'll talk more about that later, but I want to say at the beginning, to get people out there.
And to get people, if they have to choose between watching us together live and watching you on virtual flea, they're going to log off now. Thanks.
Well, I'm not there. And if they're watching it later, then it's a recorded version of us. So yes, I would choose them watching me live. But going back to the whole camp thing, I was saying that Vikki has her favorite. Let me tell you, it's not a one-way street because this little, we won't say what her name is, but this little, the first day we were all on Zoom, and there's literally like 60 to 80 people on Zoom at once. So it's like, if you've used Zoom before, there's pages.
You get two or three pages of little mini heads.
Yeah, so it can be hard to see where people are or if somebody's there. And she, at one point, this little that is Vikki's favorite, she was all furrowed brow and her face was all scrunched up. She's like a real tomboy. She's adorable. She's basically like a little kid version of me. Her face is all scrunched up, and she goes, "Where's Vikki? Where's Vikki?"
So we had to stop the entire virtual camp so everybody could help her find me. It was very cute.
It was so
and
cute.
Of course I was crying because, I'm a sucker, and that's what I do. I cry. I cry all the time.
It was really, really cute. And at any time during the week, if there was a point where somebody had to choose somebody else for something, this little would every time would choose Vikki. I knew every time she was going to choose Vikki. So she's a little attached.
A little bit.
Which, I can't blame her. Can't blame her. So,
like, if you're a teacher or if you're an aunt or something and you have a lot of kids in your life, you can't tell me that you don't end up with a favorite here and there.
Yeah.
Because it's true. You do. You always end up with a favorite.
Yep. Absolutely. Anyway, guys, so welcome to the Sunday show. I will say real quick, we will not be doing our Wednesday show. So we once again are going to be canceling a show because we are leaving early Wednesday to go to Utah.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go on a mega thrifting trip. We need to do some serious sourcing. And so I went through, we're going to be basically gone from Wednesday morning until till Saturday, probably late Saturday. And for anyone who's going to try to come and rob us blind, Dana
and her husband
has well, I mean, her husband will be here, but the one you should be scared of is Dana.
It's true. It's true.
Dana will cut you. So our house and our animals will be being watched. But anyway, we're going to be gone until the late Saturday. So we will be back next Sunday for the Sunday live haul. And next Sunday, we hopefully will have like a crazy awesome haul. I went through because she really wanted me to like go through and kind of map out the places we wanted to go. I came up with a list of no less than 62 thrift stores, you guys. 62 thrift stores. We're going to be staying in, what's the town called? I was
Provo.
Provo. So we're going to be shopping on the way there, St. George, and then to Provo, and then we're going to hit Salt Lake City, and then we're going to hit, what's on the other side of Salt Lake City?
Orem and Ogden.
Orem and Ogden. There you go. I've never been to Utah, so 62 different places that we potentially are going to shop at. I doubt we're going to be able to hit all of them.
I don't think it's going to be possible to hit them all in 3 days, but we're going to do our best. So we'll let you know what the count. We'll try to keep a count of how many we get done while we're gone. See. And we are meeting up with Sally, who is in the chat. Sally and Woody. Her husband Rudy, will be meeting them and our friend Glenda in St. George for breakfast on Wednesday. Yeah. So we're excited. We found a breakfast place that's outdoors, so we can do some socially distant and safe communing with breakfast. Yes. With our reseller friends. Other than that, we're not going to see anybody because we're just going to be working and sourcing and masking it up and all that good stuff. But we're excited to see a couple of our friends for a little bit, and we'll have to elbow bump instead of hug. I mean, I'm a hugger. It's going to be hard. Now everyone in the chat is making plans to hit Dana's house, but she has roommates, guys. It's not even her house where she lives right now. So it's true. Good luck. Oh, somebody I missed. Hold on. I got to go scroll way back because I missed Jamie. Jamie gave us a super chat for $19.99. Holy cannoli, guys. We can party like it's $19.99. What? Like without having to worry about a pandemic? Yes. Lots of hugging. So Jamie says you guys deserve a drink after your awesomeness. Busy week. It's been a crazy week. I had virtual flea at the beginning of the week, and then we had camp, and then now I got virtual flea again today, and you've had like a million things. It's just been ridiculous. It's been tough. So our haul video is going to be hauls from the prior week. Just because we didn't do a show last week. We didn't do a show, and we didn't source it all this week. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I have not stepped outside this house since last Saturday. I haven't even gone in the backyard, for crying out loud. Today, I'm going to my kiddie pool after the show because I need to get outside and get some sunlight because I'm turning into a hobbit. But anyway, they have an air for that. I didn't say I didn't shave. I said I didn't go outside. Sunlight. Okay, Hobbit. Anyway, Jamie, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Thank you. Leslie and Jimmy are only going to be 4 hours from us. What? That's ridiculous. So I saw another super chat come in. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Noelle, Farm Girl Scavenger, says, hey, happy Sunday, all you wonderful people. Emoji. I certainly hope everyone realizes what wonderful humans Katy and Vikki are. I don't know how, I think I'm probably a little bit annoying to some people today, but whatever. Anyway, Noelle, thank you so much. It was really cool because, Noelle made those really awesome masks that we use, and I showed you guys. And I actually ordered some of the Grateful Dead. In fact, I have one of them right here. Some of the Grateful Dead masks that she made, and
bought them from her, paid guys. But 2 of them I was going to be giving away with orders from last week at the virtual flea. I accidentally like messaged the wrong guy and told him like, hey, you won one. And then I realized that like, so I gave away 3 basically because I had said that I was going to give them to like the 2 highest buyers, 2 top buyers. Anyway, so I actually gave away 3, but I still have 1 left and maybe we'll give it away like next week sometime. But they're so cool. I love them. And this is like a really cool.
Speaking of giveaways, we have 2 really big giveaways that are going to be coming up in the next couple weeks. It's going to take us a little bit of time to get everything together, but we want to give you guys some forewarning. 2 really big giveaway vintage boxes that we have put together with the help of the ladies from List Perfectly. So they are vintage reseller boxes.
Awesome.
The value of these boxes are well over $500 each box, the resale value. So I want you guys to know that we are going to be giving those away, but we're not just giving away just to our viewers, which we love you guys, but this is a really big giveaway. So we're going to be coordinating this giveaway with List Perfectly and doing some stuff through Instagram as well as our Facebook group and YouTube. So just want to let you guys know, be on the lookout for that. You'll see it. It'll be in our posts. We'll talk about it on the show, all that kind of stuff. But these are really big giveaways. They're 2 boxes, and we're going to give those out probably 2 weeks in a row. We just got to work it out when we come back and figure out how to do it, but we got a little bit of time to do it. So just want you guys to know that. Basically,
we've been kind of slacking. We've been canceling shows left and right, and we're like, let's bribe them into following us and get us up to like 10,000 subscribers. You know,
it's true. We're at about 9,400 subs on YouTube, and we love you guys. So we're close, and we want to try to get up to 10,000 or get as close to 10,000 as possible. So
for sure,
we're going to go for that.
So Mo says, wants to know if I'm going to give an update on the Instagram sales. Yes. I mean, we're going to do our regular show. We have it in 3 parts. The first part, we go over our real numbers. And so of course you're going to see my numbers that, obviously have partly the virtual flea sales in them. So you're going to see that. And then the second part of our show, we show sales highlights. So I will, we'll go through the stuff that we sold over the week. And of course I have like a handful of items that I'm going to show that I sold specifically in the virtual flea. And then in the third part, we're going to show the things are like haul from this last week. I did pick up a couple of things. And then, so I'm actually going to share like the things I'm going to be selling in the virtual flea today, which again, I really hope that some of you guys are going to come and support me in that. I'd love to see a nice big turnout. It's cool. Cause it's funny because I'm never, ever, ever nervous to go on this show. We've been doing it forever.
If you watched her show on her virtual flea experience last week, if you know Katy well enough or even a little bit at all, I think you could tell how nervous she was. I could tell how nervous she was.
There's a couple of things. First of all, it's a whole different community that I don't really know anybody in. And so I'm coming in there. Secondly, it's all about like,
it's all dudes.
It's all whatever. It's all dudes, but it's all people. A lot of people who are really into the kind of stuff that I sell, and a lot of them probably fancy themselves to be pretty knowledgeable in this area. So I have to say that, for me, it's like you're kind of going up in front of, when I talk to you guys about vintage streetwear, it's like some of you guys know it pretty well, and some of you guys don't. But there, it's like I'm just one of another bazillion people who are into the same stuff. So I'm like, are they gonna, what are they gonna think about the stuff I put up for sale? Are they gonna be into?
And I have to say, I'm gonna say this out loud because I said it to you, but it's true. Katy knows as much as, if not more than, any of the pros that do that. She just doesn't do it for that audience. You are a pro. You're a pro in a different audience, so it's a different audience. So she was a little bit nervous about that, but she absolutely brought it, and I think she probably would have won the MVP vote even if you guys hadn't voted for her as stranger friends.
Well, and the thing is, when you have like a specific show, this virtual flea, it's a specific group of people. I mean, there's all kinds of vintage out there, but they have very particular tastes. And so when I went into it last week, it's like I didn't necessarily know if they were going to like the particular things I had to offer, because there's things that I think are awesome. Mm-hmm. And other people think are awesome, but maybe that particular audience is going to be like, meh, whatever. So anyway, it turned out well, and so I'm going to go up again today. A little bit nervous, but not like I was last week. So
well, now you know what to expect. Yeah. Cheryl wants to know, can you watch anywhere besides the phone? Instagram, desktop. You can go on your desktop on your computer too. Just sign in under your Instagram account, and you can watch that way. That's how I've been doing it. I watch it on one of my monitors while I'm working because the phone's too small.
Liz says, "Are you a nervous Rex, Katy?" Which is funny because that's one of the shirts.
Yeah, that's why she said that.
I know that. No. Whoa, what a crazy coincidence, Liz O'Kane. That's nuts. It's like we're connected.
Shut up. I'm gonna take back my compliment.
Oh, anyway. And then the other part of the pressure of going on is, what are you gonna wear? And last week I wore my ET shirt and it was a huge hit. This week I decided you gotta pick something, right? So this week I decided to wear my Lunatics t-shirt, which if anybody out there knows, they were an awesome all chick, all women punk band back in the 90s that I love. So it's I don't know, maybe they'll be like, ooh, Lunatics like she did. So
hey, we've got quite a few Canadian watchers here. Somebody just got laid off from work. I'm sorry to hear that, but I bet it'll it.
Yep. You know what? Sometimes the best time to really just go all out is when you're forced to.
Yeah.
And so time to be a full-time seller, take advantage of it. And I'm sorry that you got laid off, but you know what? Just do it.
That was when I went full-time.
Sometimes you need that pressure because for you, there were times when, before we got together where you weren't really dependent on making sure that you made enough to support a whole household.
Yeah. I had a second income. I didn't need it.
You didn't have to go crazy. And work super hard.
But I'll say this out loud that, 3 years ago, my income was about $75,000 on $65,000 to $75,000 gross on eBay. I didn't do anything with Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
And this year I should hit $160,000 on eBay. So in 3 years, I have more than doubled my income alone.
Well, the pressure with the fire under your ass. That's basically what it is. It's not a necessity. You just go all out. So very, very cool. Hopefully you're able to breathe a little bit and see it as a huge opportunity. And I really,
it can be scary. It's absolutely can be scary. There's no question, but thank God, at least if you were laid off, you should, I hope you're able to collect a little bit.
She's really excited.
And gives you a little bit of time to ramp up and do it. So you can totally do it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So you want our numbers?
Yeah.
Cool.
Since we've been babbling for 17 minutes, we missed our friends.
We did.
We had to fill y'all in.
We did, for sure. Oh, hold on.
There is a link to the Instagram below the show, guys, just so you know.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about it a little bit more later, but all you have to do is you need to be following me on Instagram. So I'm at aboutiqueforhim, and the link to my Instagram is down below. But you also should be following Chris, who is at 1980 something co. If you just look below, the link is right below. And then you'll be able to watch when that goes up live. There's no link to the actual show because it doesn't become created until he actually goes live. So it's not possible to share that link.
So Bridget asked, how long did it take me to get to 3,000 items on eBay? So I hovered around 1,500 for years. I never really tried to get much higher than 1,500. I got up to around 2,000 last year. And then it took me a full year to get from 2,000 to 3,000 listings. Mm-hmm. Basically you have to list double what you sell.
Yeah.
And that's for me, that's how it works because of my sell-through rate. So, which is not very high, let me be clear. So it takes me, I have to list double what I sell in order to build up the inventory higher.
I mean, it's a combination of different things because yes, you absolutely need to be listing the stuff that sells, right?
Yep.
So you have to find good stuff. You have to be able to do good listings, but it's once you kind of get those things dialed in, scaling up is just a matter of increasing what you have. And, because there's always that argument where people are like, well, you could be listing 3,000 crappy items, but in your case, no, your numbers show that it is absolutely worth it. So, I
mean, don't get me wrong. I have crappy items and I have low priced items too, just like everybody else, but
you're seeing constant growth.
Yeah. Having more items, you have to, if you're selling one-offs or you're selling vintage, you have to have a lot to choose from because they're slow sellers.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at our numbers. And this week, guys,
let me go first.
This week,
let me go
Vikki
first.
is going to go first. Okay, Vikki, take it away.
Let me go first because it's pretty sad. Okay.
No,
comparatively,
the thing is, your numbers are great as always.
It's pretty sad comparatively, let's just say. Okay, so I had 39 sales on eBay, 16 between Etsy, Posh, and Mercari for a total of 55 orders. My eBay gross sales were $26.92.
Nice.
Etsy, Posh, and Mercari, another $9.17 for a total gross for the week of $36.10. My shipping was $2.93. I had a couple of heavier items. Promoted listing fees just on eBay. I didn't sell anything promoted on Etsy this week, so that was $41.44. eBay final value fees $2.95. Etsy, Posh, Mercari, right around that $82 for final value fees. My total cost of $7.12. And then my cost of goods were pretty low this week compared to what I sold. My cost of goods was $206 for a total net of about $26.91. So almost 2,700 net sales for the week.
Crazy. So you are always doing everything.
Which is really good for me. You know, I'm happy with that, especially in July. Let's talk about summer slowdown.
Mm-hmm.
There was no summer slowdown for me. We're at the end of July. I also have to say I had 3 days this week under $100.
Yeah.
So I had 3 crappy days. So there is still a little bit of a summer slowdown.
My last 7 days on eBay now are pathetic. I only have a couple of things shipping out from eBay this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I had earlier in the week, I had some good sales. So, but what is usually like your goal? I mean, obviously we would always like to have more, but what is usually like your my
happy goal on a gross week is I like to keep it at, you know, a minimum 8,000 a month in sales.
Yeah.
So I've been doing pretty well.
So what? So your gross though, like you're happy with what, 3? Well, that's minimum. That'd be 12.
2. Minimum what?
Sorry. What
are you talking about?
Okay. I'm asking because like for me, I'm like, I want to be able to hit at least 2,000 just on eBay each week, but I don't always do that. And so I'm asking you,
I just said 8,000.
Okay.
About 2,000 a week. Yeah.
Okay. About 2,000. Okay.
Yeah. That's my, that's my
guys. She's always like, beyond killing it.
My gross average sale price was $65 and change, which is really good. I'm not usually as high as Katy because I have a few more items than she sells usually.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as I'm over 50 for my ASP, I'm happy. So anything over 60 or 65 is great. And my net ASP, which you can tell I didn't have a lot of cost of goods, my net average sale price was almost 50 alone. So it was a good week.
Very good. Very good. All right, let's look at mine, guys. Pew, 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 pew.
I know. All right. Was that your fireworks?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that what that was?
I don't know what it is. But anyway, what's funny is even without my virtual flea Instagram sales, I actually would have had a really good week this week. Better than usual for me. So I had 36 items sold on eBay, and then I had 44 between Etsy, Grail, Mercari, and Instagram. So for a total of 80 outgoing sales, which is crazy for me.
Right.
So my eBay, I broke the 2,000. So like what I was just saying, like for me, that's what I really want to see on eBay. I don't think that's going to happen this next week because my sales have been absolutely pathetic on eBay. But $2,067.11. And then between Etsy, Grail, Mercari, and Instagram, my gross was $4,604.33. That is crazy. So my total gross sales between everything, $6,671.44. My shipping costs, of course, went way up, $479.91. That's a lot for me. Usually I'm around $200. Promotion fees just between eBay and Etsy, $87.45. You can see my final value fees there. Now, this is really going to be way off because my virtual flea sales ended up being $2,900. And so I didn't have any platform fees for those sales. And I also, at least half of them, I didn't even have PayPal fees because a lot of the people just sent me, like I just gave them my PayPal email, and some of them sent it goods and services and some of them sent it friends and family. So really those fees are like over what they actually would be. So
it was a fantastic freaking week. Yeah. I have to say, 1 hour, $2,900.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I mean, I did put in probably about, I would say 10 hours of work into prepping. And then, but yes, in 1 hour, $2,900 in sales. I sold 27 items just on the virtual flea. So within 1 hour, 27 items, $2,900. And as far as like my cost of goods, you can see right there, I mean, my cost of goods is crazy high. It's $1,500. 1,000 of that was just for the virtual flea. So I've definitely spent up to get a couple of the auction pieces. But 1,000 and 2,900, not too bad. And everything that I paid up for, I sold and made money on. So my total net sales, almost 4,000, $3,939.64. My gross average sale price, ASP, $83.39. My net, $49.25. So it's actually still pretty good. It's close to 60% without figuring in all the overhead and everything.
Right,
else.
Chris? $2,900 an hour. She's an expensive hooker.
Woo, woo, woo. Okay, so that's how my week was. So it's just crazy. But what's nuts is
that's more than stripper money. That's like feature entertainer money, Alexis.
But if you take away the Instagram, I still grossed $3,771. So I just want to say Yes, I padded my numbers a bit with that virtual flea, but I think that's pretty freaking cool.
You still would have
I
beat
think
me.
that's still pretty freaking cool.
Take out your 2,900. Would you have still beat me? That's the question.
Yeah. See, guys? Okay, I would like everyone to acknowledge that I beat Vikki without being put in the virtual flea. So I think that makes me feel pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now.
Yep. Sandra, I say the same thing. That's where I went wrong. I could have been a stripper, except I'm fat and I can't dance.
Yeah. I mean, doing the virtual flea is a huge opportunity. Chris has a following of like 67,000 people, and you get people who are real buyers. It's insane. You know, Vikki's been watching it. Everybody that knows me, that's been kind of supporting me, has been getting sucked into watching other people's sets.
Yes.
And it's crazy how much money people are throwing around.
And that is how I can tell you that's how I know how good Katy is and how much she knows by comparing it to some of these other people that are not very good at what they're doing. Some of them are good. There's been a couple that I've seen that are really good and have had really fire pieces. I've seen Dana in the chat a little bit, so I know Dana got sucked in too. But yeah, that's well, pretty good. There's
also having, you know, it's like having a little personality to make it entertaining to watch, hopefully a little bit. And so for me, because I got voted MVP, if I didn't get voted MVP, I would have had to wait to put my name in the monthly raffle, and hope I got a spot in August. But because I got voted MVP for last Sunday, I automatically, I got a free 20 minutes, but I could upgrade it to a full hour, which is what I did. So now I get to do it again. And it's really exciting because, I mean, obviously look at the numbers, it's a huge opportunity, and some stuff sells for way more there than I would ever be able to get by putting it on one of my platforms. And it's one of those things where, as you kind of build your knowledge base and what you sell better and better, I'm definitely paying up for stuff, but it's like, I know, okay, if I pay for this, I know I'm going to be able to sell it 2 days from now. And even if I only make a little bit, big deal. I still made some money, and it didn't take much time, and I didn't have to pay fees on it because I'm not doing it through a selling platform. So
sure. All right, let's get into our solds. Yep, I went back and grabbed a couple from the prior week as well.
Okay.
Just because we didn't have.
I didn't, but I had enough stuff.
Yeah, Tommy. Yes, you do have to pay for the man that hosts the show. Frankly, I don't think he charges enough, but it's a really, really good exposure for everybody for the amount of work he puts into it. He charges $45 for an hour.
For a full hour, which is the top spot you can get, is 60 minutes. It's $45, which is nothing. And so he is literally Saturday and Sunday from 7 a.m. until at least 5 p.m. He takes a little break in the middle of the day. He is sitting there and he is hosting, and he is tracking all of the auction numbers. He does not take a percentage of your sales. So I made almost $3,000, and all I had to pay for it was $45. So, and you can do half hour, and it's only $25. So really it's just making it so it's somewhat, worth his time, but then he's gaining more followers, and it's helping him to build his platform and his audience. But yeah, it's crazy how, he maybe gets $800 for just from the 24 people that they're selling stuff. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah, see, Chris is like, OMG, so cheap. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it's really cheap for what he does.
Yeah.
I think for the type of exposure, if you have good stuff, I think he could easily charge $100 an hour and he'd still get it.
Yeah. But the reality is that, yes, he's doing it and he's charging for his time, but a lot of it, his mindset is very similar to ours, and which is what I really appreciate about him, is that he really feels like he's giving other people a platform. And he's like, I could have just had my friends, people that I know, be on there, but I really wanted to offer up this platform and my audience to other sellers that may not have the ability to get the same kind of exposure.
He's elevating the community.
Absolutely.
He's helping the community. He's elevating the community. Seems like a good dude.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. And Alexis is right. He's grabbing all the teas he wants too. That's true. He'll be like, oh yeah, I want that one. But he pays what people are asking. It's not like he's not
trying to ask for special deals. He'll be like, oh, if so and so doesn't want that, I'm in. I want it. He pays.
Yeah, he puts in the work. Okay, so let's look at our sales highlights for the week, and we'll start with you. Ooh, what's going on here in the boudoir?
So this is just a comforter that I sold, a coverlet that I sold. I think I paid $10 for it. I only wanted to mention this because Martha Stewart bedding was sold at Kmart, and it's been sold other places, but it was a major line for Kmart. And what I wanted to say is, don't sleep on dead stock Martha Stewart
I mean, you should sleep on it because it looks very comfortable.
Well, yes, you should. Don't pass up dead stock Martha Stewart bedding, because I will tell you, the bedding was quality and it was very, very well made. Like, if I wish they still sold the sheets, because they had amazing cotton blend sheets that felt great. So anyway, this I paid about $10 for, knowing that this would sell. This is vintage 1999, but it sold for the price that you see there. It sold for $105. I don't know why it says free shipping. But it's just going to go into a poly mailer, because it's actually a very small package that it came in. So it'll probably ship for about $9 and change through pirate ship.
Very nice, very nice.
And the listing is fairly blurry because that photograph is a picture of the photo on the package.
Yeah.
So it's through the plastic. But if you look at the other pictures, you can see what it actually looks like. But go to the second.
Oh, sorry. What am I doing?
Yeah, you can see it, you know, that way. So the first, it's through the plastic, so that's why the photos.
Gotcha. Okay, first one for me is the sweet Bugs Bunny tee. Now, this tee I actually wanted to do in the auction this last week, but I had a guy who had basically made offers on like 13 different pieces. And then he like gave me the runaround on paying for anything, and then tried to like give me the discount, but finally came through. He was a German buyer. He bought 13 items, which ended up with the shipping. I think I charged him like 100 for shipping, or 90 for shipping. So it ended up being like $857 for this bulk order that I didn't think I was going to get paid for, but then he finally did. So this one, I bought this when we were in Arizona this last time, and it's just like a worn and faded t-shirt, but it's a really cool Bugs Bunny and gang playing basketball. Looks kind of like cross colors, a little bit of crisscross. And I took an offer for $75 because, like I said, he ordered he made offers on a bunch of stuff, and they were all pretty reasonable offers. So I took $75 for this, but I mean, I paid maybe like $3 because it was like I think it was at one of the Salvation Armies that we hit on the way out of town, and I hadn't really gotten anything, and then I found this. So yeah, $75, and it's on its way to Germany now. So
yeah, Kathy, your feed might be lagging, or I would try to refresh your feed, or maybe log out and log back into the feed, because it's not blurry on our end, because we can actually see the replay screen on our other screen. We have two monitors up. We can see what's live.
It looks normal.
And the replay, and it looks live, so it might be you.
Yep. Okay, next one for you.
This one took a bit. This one I bought with Dorothy at her hoarder house. So that was a little over a year ago. But I held on to it for quite a while. There were no comps. There were no other ones sold, listed, or anything anywhere. The last one had sold for a couple of $100s a couple of years ago. So I did sit on it for a while. There were a lot of offers. There was a lot of interest, but it didn't quite sell for a while. So I did sell this to an offer for $225, not the $279 that you see there, $225. We did have to Frankenbox a box for it, but the buyer did pay for shipping. Of course, it ended up going to Florida, as far away as possible, because all the big crap goes to Florida.
Yep.
But I did charge for shipping. So I had paid originally, I think, $15 for it. So it sold for $225.
Not
I had it priced stupid high because there were no comps and there were no others.
Yeah, why not?
So, but I finally took the offer for $225.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next one for me. So all my eBay ones are actually to that same buyer in Germany. But the thing about this one is this is actually the second time I've sold this, and I think this is a really cool sweatshirt. But now Stussy's kind of like, meh. It's a little bit.
Stussy's kind of like
a couple
Tommy.
Years past it.
Stussy's kind of like Tommy.
Yeah,
it's on the downswing.
We're a couple of years past it. So, but I think this is a really cool sweatshirt, and he offered $99 for this one as part of that 13-item bulk order. And so I went ahead and sold it to it. I really like the Stussy stuff, but yeah, it is kind of dated now, even though this is from the 90s. It had made its little comeback, just like Tommy, and now it's kind of meh. So I really don't pick up Stussy anymore, but I was glad to finally get this out.
No more Tommy for your mommy.
Well, some stuff, but not for the most part, very little.
Very little is worth buying or picking up at all.
For sure. But yeah, there you go.
So this is another one. I showed this a few weeks ago. I picked up those 7 anime t-shirts. I am down to 2. I have only 2 left. This one was one of the more desirable ones as far as the pattern. as far as the kind that it was, like that Ranma half t-shirt. The Ranma t-shirts sell for quite a bit. The issue with this one is that it was not a super exciting graphic and it was pretty faded. So I put it up really high and there was a lot of interest, but I did end up taking an offer for $250 on this. I had paid less than $1.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Kathy, your eyeballs are good.
Yeah, your eyeballs are good now. We fixed your vision.
Yeah, so yeah, so $250. I'm happy with that.
Good.
I have for like I think I paid 75 cents.
How many of those have you sold now?
5 out of the 7.
And what's your total sales so far?
I don't know.
So you did a 400 one since $250.
And I've sold 3 of them for $140 a piece.
That's great. And that's all because I turned my back on her, you guys. I turned back around. She's got a bag full of shirts, and she's like, ah, and then she pays $8 for a whole bag of t-shirts. She's a jerk. You know what though? I got my revenge and I went on virtual, please.
True.
So there.
Jerk.
So rude. So rude. Anyway, I think that's an awesome sale.
So we have 175 people watching live, which usually we don't get that many this early on. So we're usually around 200 in another half an hour or so. Yeah. So go ahead and give us some thumbs up, please.
Hells to the yeah. And I apologize for saying that. Thank you. Okay, let's go to my next one. So this is the third one of the 3 I'm going to show you that went all of the same bulk order. So actually, I was pretty happy about this one because I got an offer for $99 and I accepted it because this t-shirt, I bought this in like a bulk buy from Barry, and it's a really cool shirt. And when I bought it, I wasn't really paying attention. I thought it was really cool. I thought at first it was vintage, and it turned out it's not because it's actually this Flight 66 is actually a film that they did like in 2016 or 2013 or something like that. So
and that's the name of Bruce's plane. So that's
yeah. So I was kind of at first I was like, I want to make so much money off of this, and then I was like, I'm gonna make a little bit of money off of this, and then the guy offered me $99, and I was like, heck yeah, I'll take that.
It's a good graphic though.
But yeah, so I ended up, I think the guy paid like $100 for shipping. And I split it into 2 packages because I was able to split it into 2 packages that were under 4 pounds. So that saved me a lot of money. And it was easier to insure it at like $400 a package rather than putting it all together and then being forced to do it priority. So I think that was fair enough. But
Robitussin, I am with you. I think the Stussy graphics are still really cool. I know Katy has a soft spot for Stussy as well. Unfortunately,
he's talking about his heart.
In his heart. I know. I get it. The value's there in his heart. Unfortunately, the rest of the world and the reselling world has lost their love for the Stussy.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But they do have some fantastic graphics. I think the older stuff is super cool. Even the stuff that they've come out with in the last few years is really good. We went to that one Stussy pop-up. It's just meh.
Well, that was like kind of the beginning of the downfalls that I bought. Robbie, I bought like a bunch of Stussy stuff at this really cool, they do like a Stussy pop-up like once a month or something where you get to buy all their stuff from like last year for super cheap prices. And it took forever to sell it. But I do love that brand and you know how I feel about it. Anyway, so that was it for those.
And Dana is yelling at you because it's Flight 666, obviously not Flight 66.
I said 666.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Whatever. Devil me up. Go ahead.
So yeah, this was a good sale. This I had listed for about 3 days. I will say it is a $6,000 retail dress. I purchased it for $11 at a Savers. I have no idea how Dolce was at a Savers and was like still on the rack, but it was.
Would they have a price at?
It was $14.99.
What? They overprice stuff all the time, and they priced it at $14.99.
It was a sleeper.
Oh, weird.
So, and yes, it's original and it's real. It was, but it's very pretty in person. I don't think the photos,
I mean, it's all
do it any justice.
Really
it was
pretty.
a really beautiful dress. It was very super tiny, of course.
Yeah.
But it sold very quickly. I did take an offer. It sold for $450. I'm sure I could have held out for more. But in my mind, $450 out of $14 in like 3 days, I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah. So Taylor, I got to be honest with you. So Taylor wants to know if we ever buy with our hearts instead of looking at sell-through rate. To be honest, I don't think either one of us bother looking at sell-through rate for the most part, unless there's something that, like, we don't know anything about and it's priced up and we're not really sure if we want to spend the money on it. maybe we'll glance at that. But for the most part,
very rarely do we even look at comps or look up comps.
Yeah. So for me, because I have such a narrow, niche that I work within, I generally have a pretty good idea if something's worth picking up or not. Now, if I am going to pay way up for like a t-shirt, let's say now I am doing more paying up and paying like $100 for a t-shirt. I might look and see like maybe this shirt just doesn't really sell. Like I will check, but for the most part, if I'm just out buying, I don't bother looking up. I have a pretty good feel for it, and you're the same.
Yeah. Once you learn the business in and out, or you've been doing it for a while, you're going to get a feel for what you think is worth selling. And, you know, like Katy said, we both tend to make up our prices anyway, based on what we feel something is worth. I know that sounds awful, but it's probably a very awful way to try and teach people that are still learning how to do this.
But that's definitely,
it does come with experience. There's nothing wrong with looking up comps and looking up sell-through for anything. That's really the way that you need to start. Once you feel more comfortable, you're able to branch out, especially when you're looking at vintage and one-offs. It's very difficult to comp. So you're going to have to go with your feel for a piece more than anything else.
Well, and when I started out, like I looked up stuff all the time. So I just don't do it as much unless I'm going to be paying up quite a bit. Then yeah, I want to look.
If you're going to pay $100 or $200 for an item to sell for $400, you better make sure that there's some interest for it at $400.
You have to know that you're not taking a huge risk. And so it's just all about kind of risk assessment. But yeah, when you're starting out, you definitely want to get a better feel for what sell-through rates are. Especially, I mean, that becomes even more important if you're trying to do anything with like quantities. And I mean, you really have to
retail arbitrage. Yeah,
you got to be real careful with that. So it just all depends. Okay, next one for me. I didn't even tell you about this sale.
What?
She's got real excited. So this jacket, I actually bought this from Jesse maybe like a month ago. It was one of the times I went into the store when it was still shut down. And he only charged me $25 for it, which is crazy. And you can see there's a little repair spot there. That was repaired by our not quite in-house, but sometimes in-house seamstress, Vikki's assistant, Crystal, who does her pictures and drafts and stuff. She also can sew. And so this had like a tear in it. It was a little bit of a difficult repair because it was kind of because of the way this fabric was. It wasn't wanting to really listen. But anyway, it had an issue. She fixed it as best she could. There's another jacket she fixed where you can't even see what the problem was before. But I paid $25 for this. Let's look and see what it sold for. We'll go over and look at the flipper tools, and you guys can do this with any of the stuff that we sell in our Etsy stores if you're ever wanting to like snoop and see what we sold stuff for. Now this was on sale for 10% off, so I actually sold it for $270. So I paid $25 for it. Sold it for $270. Anything Ferrari, anything vintage Ferrari.
Oh, it always sells well.
It sells well, and especially, I mean, come on, look at this jacket.
That looks like the jacket that I sold to Drake. Like 3 years ago, I sold a black version of that jacket to Drake.
Well, that's inappropriate.
It was black, not red. What the frick? Jerk.
Anyway, yeah, you can see like the detail on this embroidery. It just looks awesome. So I paid $25 for it and turned it into $270, which, let me tell you guys, it happened at a time when my sales on eBay were just not coming through at all. So it was like probably the only sale I had that day. And I was like, thank you, baby Jesus. So
it happens.
It happens. All right, next
I think
one
I have.
for you.
I think I have
really
4 days this week where I've had under $100 on eBay. So this is another one of those anime tees. Sorry for it being so small. It's a screenshot of listing on Poshmark. I sold this one for $120. This guy had been bugging me for a while, and I was like, you know what? I only have 75 cents into this darn shirt. I'll take the offer. But that was a fairly solid offer for a Poshmark item because Poshmark is full of low ballers that I just cannot deal with. Ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 120 out of 75 cents.
Yeah, 120 is all right. All right, Grailed. I had a decent week on Grailed. I actually had like a multi-order on Grailed as well, but nothing that was too exciting that I wanted to share. But I had like a multi-order that was like $180 worth of stuff, and then the guy wanted it as fast as I could send it to him, and I was like, well, you know, the difference between priority and first class international is pretty meh, not really much of a difference. So I told him the difference in prices, and then I said, but you know, you could do express, and that should hopefully cut down a little bit. And he was like, yeah, let's do express. So he paid this as $100, but it was actually $280 I got. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong. What happened? Am I looking at the wrong thing?
I don't know what you're looking at.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, guys. I'm talking about a different order. He paid $280, but like 100 of that was for shipping. And there were 3 different items. And so I think it ended up costing like 90 something dollars to ship Priority Express.
Yes.
So anyway.
And Tommy, yes, I know I can pull up the sold listings on Posh. That just shows too much information. It shows like the buyer's information, and it's also pretty small.
Yeah.
So we're not on, this is Katy's computer that we use, by the way, not mine. So it's just a pain in the ass for her to log into my account to show the Posh sold and get the screen share from there. It's easier for me to do it the other way.
So apparently this was the week that I was selling red satiny bomber jackets, and I sold this UNLV jacket for $100.
Red satin bomber jackets are in.
Yeah, so this is probably my top single sale, even though I had that multi-item sale. This is just a pretty cool UNLV jacket. So there you go. All right, next one for you, another tiny picture.
I know, sorry guys. This is another one. This is a Macari sale. This one sold for, I paid $10 for this, just a vintage 80s motorcycle jacket, like classic motorcycle jacket, that super heavy leather with the buckles and the snaps and all that kind of stuff. Ooh. I paid $10 for it. It was listed for about a week. I took an offer for $132 on Macari, and the buyer paid shipping, which was a lot because it weighed like 6 pounds.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And went to New York, of course. So,
all right, let's hop it over to Macari. So this is my top sale for the week. So this t-shirt I bought from Jesse at yesterday's Fits, and I probably paid like $50 or $60 for it. I picked it up because I knew that this particular t-shirt, this 3D emblem Harley Davidson shirt, this particular graphic is very popular, and it sold for even more than what I sold mine for. And I've had a lot of interest. I've had it for a few months. I've had a lot of interest over it, both on different selling platforms and when I have posted on Instagram. And I really wanted to get $300 for it. I had this guy on eBay that like kept sending me offers, but would never go above $200. And so when somebody finally offered me $275 on Macari,
because Macari is a flat 10% fee, and you're not paying a PayPal fee, you're not paying a processing fee. That's, for me, I will take a lower offer on Macari all day long, because their final value fees are so much less.
Yeah, for sure. And it's already been sent out. It already was received. It already was reviewed. So I already got the money for it. So it's all good. But it's just a really, if you ever 3D emblems, some of them can be worth quite a bit of money. And this particular graphic is one that's a little more desirable. I mean, it's not like some of the ones that have the pigs on them that go for well over $1,000, but it's still a good sale. So I was happy with it. All right, this picture's bigger.
This one's a little bigger. Yes, this is easier to see. So this was, I showed probably a little over a month ago now, I showed a lot of jeans that I purchased from a friend of mine on the East Coast. She had posted a list of, she's like, I've got all these jeans I'm giving away. Does anybody want them? And when I looked at them, I saw that they were Levi's, and they mostly new with tags. I did not know they were the vintage collection. I just knew that they were Levi's with tags. And I said, I'll buy them from you. I'll give you $10 a pair plus pay the shipping if you want to send them to me, rather than give them away. Those are too good to give away. Now, I assumed they were going to be the $40 jeans or whatnot. We're in the middle of lockdown. I needed inventory. I thought it was fair to offer $10 a pair when she was going to give them away. And so she was like, yeah, totally, I'll do that. So I paid for shipping. I paid $10 a pair. I purchased 9 pair of jeans. Several of them were these vintage collection. Actually, 4 pair were these vintage collection Levi's that were new with tags. I've sold 3 pairs so far. I sold 1 pair for $2.99 right off the bat, and then I sold these 2 pairs to the same buyer who paid shipping to Thailand. So I've sold, let's see, $400, $720 just on those 3 pairs of jeans that I paid $30 for. So yeah, 2 pairs, $209 a piece. Plus shipping. The buyer bought them separately, did not even do combined shipping, nor did I refund any of the shipping, because the shipping actually came to about $42 because it was, it did go over 4 pounds. So it was like $42 and they had paid like $50. So
nice. All right, that's it for that one.
Yep.
All right, now we're going to get into some of my virtual flea sales. Now I had like over 1,000 t-shirts in my inventory, but I have some really cool stuff. But I did, pick up some extra stuff from like Jesse last week to kind of, because the way it works, if you guys go watch the show, is, like I'm going to have 60 minutes And so I will have items being auctioned one at a time for like 5-minute increments. And then while that's happening, people are bidding in the chat, I'm showing other t-shirts and giving them buy it now prices. So some stuff, so for the auction pieces, you really want to have something that's going to be kind of exciting, because you want people to get into it and start bidding things up. And whatnot. I
gave you that rodeo clown shirt, by the way. That was one of the ones I found and gave to you.
Are you sure about that?
Isn't there 4 or 5 of them?
Yes.
Okay. I found them.
All right. I'll take that. And so I didn't sell any, so thanks to you. That was a pretty dud find of yours. So you really screwed the pooch on that one, sexy librarian. Anyway, so I did pick up some stuff last week specifically for the flea. So I didn't sell all of these, but some of them I wanted to focus on. So there's another one later that I'll show you that somebody bought from me, but he also, not only did he buy one of the highest priced items from the auctions, he also picked up a couple of other t-shirts, and one of them was this Beavis and Butthead. I actually paid $75 to Derek only a few weeks ago, and I flipped this to that guy for $150. In total, he spent almost $700 on 3 t-shirts to me, and one of them was this Beavis and Butthead he paid $150 for. And then this Mighty Ducks Power Play t-shirt I bought from Jesse last week. I think I paid like $50 for it, and I sold this in auction. It went for $150. So it went from $50 to $150. And part of that was just researching it. So, obviously Jesse knows that Mighty Ducks are like what the Mighty Ducks are, and he knows they're a hockey team. He knows it's a Disney thing, and there was a movie. He knows that. He knows they're popular. But I really like to kind of go a little overboard on my research, and I was like, well, what is this Power Play thing? And it turned out that, like, the movie came out in '92, and then '93 is when Disney basically created the Mighty Ducks team, the actual team, to kind of jump on the popularity of the movie. And so at the park, in '93, they introduced this whole thing called Power Play. So you go in and like you get these like scratch it tickets for Mighty Ducks, and so it was just like a whole big promotion. And so this is just kind of a cool shirt if you're really into the Mighty Ducks and you're into Disneyland. $150. So I thought that was a pretty good sale.
That's pretty good.
And look, what's this fancy thing?
So this is just a vintage, beautiful St. John dress in the Santana knit. I actually sourced this from our friend Rick. Thrift Fever. I bought a box of St. John clothing from him, and I had 13 pieces for $250. So whatever that works out to be. Yep, these are his pictures. I even got the pictures.
I thought they looked really good.
Yeah. Asshole. So these are actually his pictures too, because he had these listed at some point. He's getting out of the clothing business. So he had sent me these items, and this is the one piece that I've sold so far.
It's nice.
It's really pretty.
It's nice bright red.
Mm-hmm. You're going to see what I sold it for.
Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot we're on Etsy.
Sleeping.
I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping. I'm slipping. Let me pull this over here. There you go.
So I got the majority of my money back on the first item. Now, they were not all this good, but there are a handful of them that are this good. So it sold for $189.95 on Etsy. Yeah, it was pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with that sale. It was a really nice one.
It's really good.
So Alexis, I'm going to let him talk about that, whether he chooses to or not on his channel or whatnot. He's not getting out of all clothing, but I think he is paring down and not selling clothing as much now. Yeah. He's getting into another avenue, but
he's going to a very specific area.
That's for him to talk about.
Yeah.
But he reached out to me. He was selling it as a lot in general, and he reached out to me first. And he's like, I know you probably want this lot. And I said, yes, I do.
Did you tell him you wanted a lot? You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. You'll appreciate my genius. All right, let's go to the next one for me. Bam! This T-shirt is so awesome.
It's sick.
It's sick, as the kids say.
It's disgusting. That's what they said. That's what I noticed today. Today on the kids, it's disgusting. Yeah. And vomit emojis. That means it's good.
Oh, those youngins. Anyway, he had just gotten this T-shirt in, and I don't remember what he had priced on it, but so this is an all-over print Jurassic Park T-shirt. You can't see the detail on here, but it's really cool when you get close. It's like the DNA, like the DNA letters sequence that's in Jurassic Park. That's what this whole thing is made up of, and it looks super cool when you look at it up close. But anyway, I paid $75 for it. I think he had paid like 65, and so he flipped it to me for 75. So that's what I love about Jesse, is that he definitely could have made more money on this. But sometimes, depending on what it is, you know, he's happy to flip it to me as long as he makes just a few bucks on it. So I paid 75, and I put this in auction because that's one of the things that these youngins that watch the virtual flea, there's certain things that they're really into. Jurassic Park is one of them. Movie stuff is definitely one of those areas. And so I knew this would be a good one. And I think I went first with this one. So I paid 75 and it ended up going for 185. So, I mean, I'm definitely paying up, but I knew I was going to at least make my money back. And it went for 185, which I think is really freaking good.
Yeah.
I know he probably would have priced it at like 120 or something like that in his shop, which makes sense because he needs to move that stuff through. He can't be sitting on stuff.
Lizzo Kane, it's the bee's niece. That one got a snort. Sorry.
You guys heard it here.
You've got to work on your lingo, Liz. Oh my God, that was funny.
See, and then Dana says it's gagged, but the only problem is now you're mixing in your streetwear vintage lingo with your drag queen lingo, and it's like
they don't quite cross.
Yeah.
It's two different genres.
We had been watching Pose like a bunch and like a lot of drag queen stuff, and so we were like looking at something else, and Vikki was like throwing out drag queen lingo, and I'm like, I don't know if that really like I like it. I think it's fun.
Work.
But then you're trying to like, you know, transpose it over to like this other community that has their own whole vernacular and like way, like words that they're using.
Liz, Amazeballs was never in. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think I've ever actually seen that be in. Anyway, so 185 on this one. So I love it. If I could have had a shirt like this, I would. See, that's the thing. If I was willing to actually pay money and
well, here's the thing.
Shirts, I might start doing it.
If you were willing to wear the stuff that you love to sell,
yeah, like, I could be like Derek and like he goes around and wears it until it sells.
You just don't wear it. You don't. This is not your style. You buy to sell. I buy to sell.
It's not that it's not my style. It's not my style to spend money on myself.
That too.
That's because I wear horror tees. And movie
you wear
tees.
Horror tees?
Yeah, horror. That too. I wear horror tees, movie tees. It's just I get ones that are like current ones because I don't. Come on, guys. Like you know, I can barely manage to spend any money on myself.
Listen, if I did not buy her new clothing, she would not have any.
Yeah. I hate spending money on myself.
She would wear stuff until it fell off.
I will throw down the cash to buy some cool stuff.
She'll spend $300 on a t-shirt to flip, but she won't spend $10 on a shirt from Walmart.
But now, if I'm going to keep going on the virtual flea, that's the thing, is that you have to come prepared. You got to be wearing something cool. So I'm more likely to buy some stuff for myself.
You got to come right.
Yeah, you got to come right. I'm more likely to wear something cool, and then plus, if it's really cool, then they're going to start wanting to buy it off your back, and then you act a little coy, you act a little bit, a little cold about it, and then they start driving that price up. So
you got to come right with.
You got to think about it. So now okay. Now you're right. now you're taking it a little far. Now you're taking it a little far. All right.
Oh my God.
All right. Fair enough. Let's go on to the next one. What do you got? What do you got? Photo finish.
I'm cracking myself up. So I picked this up at a garage sale a couple weeks ago. Probably, I don't know. It's been since post-COVID. So I mean, it was probably 3-4 weeks ago.
It hasn't been that long.
3 or 4 weeks ago. It was listed for less than 2 weeks anyway. I picked it up. I knew it would sell for well. The last one that I saw had sold for somewhere around $50, but it's been quite a few years. There are none anymore. And it sold on Etsy fairly quickly. Within a week of listing.
Sold for
a week or two of listing. $150. What? Plus shipping, buyer paid shipping. It was thankfully it was only to Arizona because it's pretty big. It's not heavy, it's just really big. So it actually shipped for like $17 shipping. Nice. And they paid $15. So.
I think this thing is really cool.
It's one of those cool electronic games. All of these sell very well. This is just one that I had never seen before. If you find the baseball ones or the football ones, those sell for a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really neat. All right, next one for me. So this is the one last week. So probably like, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, I had gone to Yesterday's Fits. Jesse had this up on the wall. I was dying over it. because it's such a cool shirt. It's a mosquito head, which for those of you who don't know what mosquito head is, it's this, the telltale thing is it's totally bleached out like this. The graphic is printed really huge. So you see how the graphic goes up over the collar. And these shirts were done in the 90s, and like in the early 90s, late 80s, it was like, or in the 90s, basically, it was like the people that made these, I think lore tells it, legend says that they basically accidentally spilled a whole thing of bleach on a pile of black t-shirts, and it looked so cool that they just did it on purpose after that. And then when they made their screen prints, they made them too big for the t-shirts, and that's why they print over the neck right here. And so and then later on, they actually started making them on mosquito head tags. But if you know what they look like, you know how to identify them, you will see these ones that are on regular tags are actually mosquito heads. And so they would make these in small amounts. Like maybe they'd make like 500 of them, and then they'd go to like different shops around, and people would buy them. And now, depending on what they are, they're worth a ton of money. So he had this, he had it up for like $650. I'm like, man, that's so cool. And so when I found out I was going to be doing the flea, I like messaged him, and I'm like, how much do you have it at now? And he was like 500. And so then when I went in, I was like, what would you be willing to sell it?
Oh no, it's because Kanye bought the shirt off your back.
No,
so you had to go in and bring back a shirt that you had already purchased because he sold it to Kanye.
I may have gotten
off your back.
That's true. We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
That's why you got a better deal.
So hey, I may have made him feel a little guilty. So he ended up saying like, I'll sell it to you for 300. But the whole thing was, I thought, I don't know if this particular shirt, as cool as it is, and as much as I think it's worth, probably more like $800, I don't know how it's going to play in virtual flea. So I felt like I was taking a risk, but I went ahead and did it. I paid $300 for it. So at that point, that was the most I'd ever paid on a t-shirt that I was going to flip. I paid $300 for it. And then I was praying to sweet baby Jesus, please people bid on this. And then I took the extra crazy leap, and I started it at $1 per auction. And let me tell you, I was nervous. It actually ended up selling for $380. So it didn't go as crazy as I had hoped it would, but I made my money back, and I had a really cool shirt in the flea, and I got to start at $1, which people think is really fun. So
the graphic
it worked out.
Tommy, the graphic is like an S&M graphic. There's like,
it's the book cover of, there's a book called The Velvet Underground.
Right. It's a whip. It's a dominatrix pleather boot. It's a black mask, and it's a key. I'm thinking key parties key.
Yeah, something
swapping.
But it's a whole
sexual
it
reference.
was a book that like Lou Reed like saw the book and was like, I'm gonna name my band The Velvet Underground. So the name of the band is because of this book. So that's actually the cover of the book. Anyway, so yeah, $380 was paid for the shirt, and I paid $300. So I made a little bit of money. And the person who paid for it, this person bought the Beavis and Butthead t-shirt for $150. And they bought from the Hoarder House, they bought that really awesome Stanley DeSantis Wizard of Oz all over print t-shirt I had of the whole group of them going towards the Emerald City. They bought that for $150, which I paid for $1 at the Hoarder House. So they bought 3 t-shirts for $680. And that's the whole thing with the virtual flea, is that you're being put in front of an audience of people who
that have money,
appreciate
and
vintage t-shirts, and they want to buy cool stuff. So it was a good deal. Go ahead.
So this Katy had picked up for me. Actually, we went to an estate sale. This is probably the best estate sale I hit last year. I bought a crap load of stuff, went back 3 different days. It was a huge house full of stuff. The last day, everything was pennies. I think I paid 50 cents for this. Katy was looking through posters, grabbing a couple for herself, and she grabbed a couple for me. And yeah, I paid about $1 for it. I was in another section of the house. So usually when looking for herself, she is a very good scout for me.
Yep. And I say, buy this, and she goes, okay, because it'll be something that maybe she wouldn't have bought otherwise.
I would have bought this had I looked it up,
looking.
But yeah. So this sold on Etsy for $129.95. I paid like $1. That's it.
Nice. I love that movie too. I don't know if anybody else has seen Lawrence of Arabia, but it's a really pretty movie. It's an amazing movie to watch.
It was not in great shape, I have to say. It was a 1-sheet movie poster. It's vintage, blah, blah, blah. But it had, I don't know if you can see pictures on Etsy.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back.
Go back to the Etsy. It's not in fantastic shape. You can see that it's got the folds. It has pinholes from being hung. It has split. It has a split on the folds. you know, all that kind of stuff. It's not in fantastic shape. It's in good shape for framing.
Yeah.
If that's what you wanted to do. And that's kind of what it says.
Yeah, I think it looks awesome. Okay, so let's do the last one for me, and then we'll go into our haul. So this is the last of some of the stuff that I sold. So these 3 t-shirts up here didn't actually end up selling. There were a few people that asked about these 2, but they didn't buy them. But they were not auction pieces. They were just buy it now pieces I gave straight prices for. Now, this shirt right here, so this Universal Studios shirt, I actually had a buy it now price of $85 because I had it in my store forever. I bought it on Etsy for $25. And I had it forever for like, I think $100 or something like that. And it hadn't been bought. And so I went to do buy it now, and I said, you know, buy it now for 85 bucks. And people in the chat started going crazy and saying, because there were so many people that wanted it, they were like, auction it, please auction it. And so
yeah, it's King Kong on the Twin Towers.
Oh, it is super cool, but it just hadn't moved. I'm telling you, it hadn't moved. It'd been on multiple platforms. And so, so I put it up for auction, and it ended up selling for $140. I paid $25 for it on Etsy, like maybe last year. And I thought it was a great shirt. So I got $140 for it. And it was just kind of cool, because that's what happens is if there's like a lot of demand for something, especially if somebody doesn't want to have to like, if you've got money, you don't want to have to rely on being the first person that commented or that sent a message in the DMs, because that's how it works. If you do a set price,
first come, first serve.
Right. And so if you've got the money and you really want the shirt, you're going to hope that it gets pushed over to an auction. What?
FCFS.
Oh, okay.
First come, first serve.
Okay. All right. And then I have this Red Hot Chili Peppers t-shirt that was like a parking lot tee from a 1991 show. And that actually ended up being my highest sold item, and it went for $390. And that particular shirt, I paid $50 for. I actually got 4 of them from Jesse like last year. 3 of them I've sold. I think a couple of them sold for over 200. One I sold for like 175, and then this one went for 390. So not bad considering I paid.
That one went in auction, and I will say that was the only one I was starting to get irritated with people in the flea that were saying that this was a repro because there were a ton of them out there. The ton of them out there were the ones that she has sold. Well, that was what they were talking about, but they didn't know because they don't know her store. And the fact that they're not repro, they're actually genuine. And she did look them up, and she knows all of, you know, as you know, Katie does her research. So,
well, and the other part of it is that nowadays, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there are all these sellers, pretty much all overseas, that all the weird stuff that you normally don't like. You have your basic t-shirts like Metallica and like tour t-shirts that, yes, they're out there, but they'll be like these obscure t-shirts that are worth a lot of money. And all of a sudden you'll see that they have reprints available for $29. And it's like such a bummer because they see that's weird stuff that sold, and then they make a fake listing, and I'm sure it's like shit quality, and
it's just just like an iron-on or something that they.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it looks terrible. So I don't know. It's just kind of a bummer, I think. Anyway, so that is it for why is it still
haul and solds?
Yeah. That is it for our solds. And you want to go into our haul?
Yeah. You want to show some?
Why don't you go ahead? You actually have like some hauls to show.
So this is stuff that I've actually just gotten over the last couple of weeks. We didn't source it all this week, guys, just so you know. But one of the things I picked up, and this is, I only brought 2 of them up just to show, but I did pick up a vintage Art Deco 1950s canister set. It has all 4 pieces. I paid $3 at a garage sale. They are original. They're not repros. They're stacking, just like the aluminum ones. Lincoln Beauty Wear on the bottom. So they're in good shape. These are the covers. They're kind of like, I think the little knobs on the top are Bakelite. I haven't tested them, but I think they're Bakelite just from the era. So they're pretty cool canisters. I bought them for $3. I'll probably sell it for like $75. Something else I picked up, I paid $5 at a garage sale for these. These are pretty cool. These are ashtrays. They're actually cigar ashtrays.
How do you know they're ashtrays?
Cigarette. Well, you know how I know they're ashtrays. First of all, you got the ridges on them on the sides. That's what that is. But they also were stacked. And one of them, I took them out of the car, and all I could smell was cigarettes. I was so skeeved. So I took them right into the kitchen to wash them. And the way that I purchased them, they were stacked. On the bottom stack, there were cigarettes inside one of them.
They're well seasoned.
So gross. I will not photograph the canisters while I'm naked, Kara, I promise. So I've got 5 of these. These are just Japanese, hand painted, made in Japan, just vintage kitsch. I mean, that's really what this is. This is kitsch from the 60s, 50s, late 50s, early 60s. Yes, I was an avid cigar smoker. But these are just real cute. They've got dogs on them, and the other one has cats on them. They're just totally cheesy, hand painted, typical vintage, you know, vintage painted stuff from Japan. There's also on the edges, this is like glitter. It's like a glitter paint. It looks like the old, if you sell figurines and stuff, it looks like the hand painted spaghetti type of figurines that they call them. They're just porcelain.
Yeah, I think Sandra has a good idea. Now you can rest hot dogs on them.
Oh, hey, there you go. They could be hot dog holders instead. Weirdos. I don't know what I'm going to sell these plates for. I think I'm going to sell them as a set, even though there are 5, and it's kind of a weird. Yeah, it's definitely like a glitter spongeware, but they remind me of like those figurines with like the spaghetti ruffles on them. It's called like spaghetti. It's not spaghetti. It's just it's a texture thing. Anyway, I'll probably sell these as a set. I'm not too sure how much I'm going to sell them for. The brand isn't much. It's Westpac, which is a very inexpensive import from Japan. But I'll probably sell these maybe $50 for the set. I paid $5. I just think they're really cute. And somebody that decorates with this type of decor, I can see this on a tabletop, or even somebody with a plate holder hanging them on the wall. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah. They're cool.
They're pretty cool. Let's see. Another item that I picked up. I picked this up when I went out sourcing for a day with Miss Dana. I paid $2.99, and it was taped shut, and it has a bit of mold on the outside of the box. As you can see, it's got some molding on the box, but it's a vintage Cutty Sark ship model. Now, these particular ship models sell for big money, and I knew that this was going to be one of the good ones if it was complete. It was taped. I didn't open it, so we'll see. I opened it today. There's even some mold damage inside, unfortunately. I'm still going to sell it. This is old mold damage, by the way. It's not like real spores that are going to hurt anybody now. It's just damage to the cardboard. But I'm going to wipe it all down, and I'm still going to sell it. I still think I can get $75 for it. So that's it. I paid $2.99.
So we just got a super chat from Rockstar Flipper. He gave us $5. So here's the deal with Casey. He just recently had his tax bill come up due, and he's building a house. So he's probably a little cash poor at the moment. And so he sees that we got $10,000 in sales this week, and he's trying to hustle us for it. And he thinks if he invests $5, he might be able to get something out of it. So thanks, Casey. Appreciate it. I'll give you your own super chat. I haven't sung the song yet today, so I'll do a little bit of super chat. Super chat is super chatty. Yow. There you go.
Nothing's Casey. Better than Casey doing the super chat song on somebody's lap.
I know. It's Biatch's lap.
So yeah, Erin, thank you for the tip. Clean shower spray for the mold. It has no bleach, and you do not need to wipe it away. It won't damage the cardboard. I don't think it would work on that just because it's so old, but I will try it. I'm not really concerned about selling it that way. Generally speaking, stuff with mold is not something you want to sell, but that's real old, and it's old mold. It's like that model's from the 60s. It's like 1963, and it probably just sat in somebody's basement, and yeah,
for sure.
So let's see, what else do I have? These are pretty cute. I picked these up for $4 at Deseret. This is some dead stock. Speaking of Lion King earlier, dead stock vintage Lion King curtains. Ooh. These are just there's 2. Yeah. It's a pair of curtains. I paid $4. This is just the balances. I wish I would looked everywhere. I wish they'd had the comforter too, but they did not have the comforter.
Noelle.
Yes. All right. No, all right, Noelle.
Noelle, I talked up your amazing masks. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Anyway, I'll probably sell these for like 40. I wish I'd found the comforter too. Unfortunately, just the balances, the curtain balances, but they're dead stock. They're vintage. They're crispy. They have actually the original folds from the package. They might have been donated with the package, and then when they put them on the floor, they took them out of the package. Those assholes,
sons of bitches. I know it lasts for that long together, and then it gets split up.
Because they're early 90s. My daughter had those in her room. I had the comfort that matched that on her toddler bed. Her toddler bed. She was 2.
Oh,
she was born in
nugget.
She was born in 93. That was her toddler comforter. Yeah.
So yeah,
you were in grade school. Shut your mouth. This is my other fun find. This is a vintage, super bright and crispy 90s Rugrats twin comforter. OG Rugrats.
OG.
This one I'll probably sell for, what did I pay? I paid $9.
$11 billion.
No, probably like $125.
Very cool.
Let me see. I wanted to show something else.
I bet Casey watched Rugrats when he was a little nugget. I think they were on when he was a kid.
Oh, Erin says that she's used that spray on vintage cardboard before. Thank you. I will definitely try that out.
Oh.
I appreciate the tip.
Oh.
Let's see. What else do I have?
I don't know. What else do you have?
This was a good buy. This was anybody that has seen one of these knows what this is. I know that some of my vintage sellers are going to know what this is. I paid $4 at a garage sale. $4 flipping dollars.
And then you're going to flip it.
So this is a vintage. This is called a Peacock fireplace screen or fireplace fan. It's called a Peacock because of what you see here as far as the shape. It fans out. I'm going to try and show it just a little bit, but it's problematic here. So this fans out like this. So it looks like a peacock. It's brass. It's vintage. They generally have, sometimes they'll have a cherub figurines on it. Sometimes they're all different things. This particular one has a phoenix.
Very cool.
And I paid $4. This will probably sell for about $200. It might sell for a little bit more. They're not very popular anymore. They're not very prolific. They're still popular.
Yeah.
So they're getting harder to find. It is very heavy because it is solid brass. But it will
you put it in front of the fireplace, right?
Yeah, it's a fireplace screen.
Yeah.
And yes, Casey, of course you can't identify half of my inventory because I know a hell of a lot more than you do.
Ooh, sick burn.
It's true.
That's rude. It's just rude.
About vintage stuff, I do. He doesn't know vintage.
Rude. It's because he's just a little bebe.
He's a youngin'.
Just a little bebe.
He's a youngin'. So
right.
yeah, so that fireplace screen will go for about 200.
Yeah. My turn?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did the vintage flea last weekend, and then on Tuesday I found out that I'd been voted MVP. And so, like I said earlier, the great thing about being voted MVP is that then you get to go again the following weekend rather than having to wait at least a month if you're lucky. And so, but the problem is that even though I've got like 1,000 items, 1,000 t-shirts in my inventory, I was like, what am I going to do for like my banger pieces? What are going to be like my awesome auction pieces? And so I was able to pick up, a little bit from Jesse and from this other store in town. But I talked to Derek right away and I was like, dude, I need some stuff. And he was like, I got your back. And so he showed me a bunch of stuff that he had, and I picked out a number of items and a couple of really cool pieces I was so excited about. He sent them priority. It said they were going to be here on Friday. Friday went by. I woke up Saturday morning and it said they were hanging out in Salt Lake City. Apparently they thought we were coming to go pick them up. I don't know. And then it still said that they were supposed to be delivered yesterday, a day late, but they didn't arrive in Vegas until like 12:30 yesterday afternoon. So basically, I did not get this box.
She's got no bangers.
That's not true. That's not totally true. I do, but I definitely don't. I definitely feel like I'm going in with less than I wanted to have. So that makes it. I'm a little bummed about it, but it just means
a little bummed and a little nervous.
Hopefully next time I'm going to be able to. I'm going to be able to do it again soon, and I will have extra awesome pieces to share. But with that said, guys, Chris was talking about how, you know, he spent $300 on a whole car before. I spent that $300 on that t-shirt last week. Earlier this week, Jesse, yesterday's Fits, auctioned off this Toy Story t-shirt, and it was his first live Instagram auction. So I'm in there and I'm like, I'm going to support my buddy Jesse. So I start bidding. Well, I got sucked into it, you guys. And you know what ended up happening? One, I paid $300 for it. And I'm like going, okay, well, I'm glad I got to support my friend. Now I got this $300 t-shirt. Maybe it was a mistake, but what happened? My box from Derek didn't show up. And so now I'm like, thank God I bought that shirt, because that's probably going to be like the #1 most exciting piece that I have for later today. So let me show you.
Are you going to let a breath in so I can answer some of the questions?
Go ahead.
You haven't stopped speaking for 5 minutes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so adventures in reselling. Yes, that fireplace screen will go on Etsy and on eBay. I'll even throw it on Mercari. That'll go on everything except Poshmark for me. It'll probably sell on Etsy. Yes, you can vote for MVP every week. There's an MVP every Saturday and every Sunday, so she can get it 2 weeks in a row.
I've heard people getting it like 3 weeks in a row.
And then there was another question in there. Oh, that was Casey calling me old. Yeah, you know, that's okay.
Whippersnapper.
It's all right. I don't mind. I'll own it. I'm pretty damn hot for 45, so I can take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is going to be like my #1, hopefully my #1 awesome piece that goes crazy. So it says it's got, this is what Liz was alluding to earlier. It's got the T-Rex from Toy Story. I'm a Nervous Rex. This is a vintage t-shirt from when the movie came out. And it's an XL on a Jersey's tag. And then on the back, it says Totally Toy Story. And it says exclusively at Pacific's El Capitan Theater, November 22nd through January 1st. So here's the thing about this t-shirt. So this is dead stock. This is a dead stock promo.
Yeah, see, you totally, Casey's like, you burned me. Nick's like, yeah, I'm hot for 45, Katie. Yeah, so moving on to this T-Rex t-shirt. It's true. It's true. She doesn't appreciate me.
How many times did I call?
We've been together 3 years now. It's all done.
I'm sorry. How many times did I refer to her as a sexy librarian today? And we opened the show with me talking about how adorable she was in her cute glasses. So yeah, I do it on my own. I don't have to be prompted, bitches. Anyway, what's really cool about this shirt, it's dead stock. It is a promo shirt from when the movie came out. But here's the thing. So Totally Toy Story. The El Capitan Theater is the theater that's owned by Disney. All the Disney movies premiere there. It's on Hollywood Boulevard in LA. And this movie came out on November 22nd, which is the date on here. And it played at that theater from the 22nd through the 1st of January the following year. And Totally Toy Story, if you were a kid and you went and saw this movie, you would go next door after you watched the movie, and it was a whole multimedia interactive experience on 3 floors. There were multiple theaters, live actors. You go into like one room.
That sounds fantastic. Why did we live in LA?
Food and like all kinds of crazy stuff. And
of course, I was already a grown-ass adult.
Extravaganza.
I was a grown-ass adult when Toy Story came on.
So like you would buy your ticket, like an adult ticket was like $20 and the kids was like 15. You get to see the movie, and then you go next door to this crazy thing. And it was only if you went and saw it there that you would have been able to buy one of these t-shirts. And right now there's like this crazy Disney craze when it comes to t-shirts. Mm-hmm. And there's different characters. There's a Buzz Lightyear is probably the most desirable. They probably made less of them. And that one right now goes for well over $1,000. This t-shirt has sold within the last couple of weeks. It's sold multiple times for $400, $500. And
once for $700.
There's none listed right now other than one of those fake reprints for $29.99. But this one, let's just say I'm crossing my fingers that it at least goes for $300, if not more. But seriously, guys, come and watch my live set starting at 4:30. Give me some support, and you can see if I totally screwed myself and threw away $300 this week, or if it was a good investment. And who knows, this one might go for a crazy amount. Those people are crazy in that virtual flea. So just a really, really cool t-shirt. Yeah, see? Casey, you want to watch because you want to see what happens.
You need to learn. You need to learn, Casey.
I don't know about that. Anyway, and then the other thing is because I'm kind of short on the bangers, it's possible I might end up letting my fantastic ET t-shirt go into auction. We'll see. But you should definitely watch because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, Rockstar Flipper says, Casey says, I can't smash my like button. I broke my computer once this month. No can do again. I'll tap it very lightly. Just ever so gently caress it. Yeah. That's all.
I will say the other really cool piece that I have for today, depending on the people that are going to be watching live, is this Madonna Blonde Ambition tour. When you look up the Blonde Ambition tour t-shirts, they look totally different from this. They're not all over prints. I was able to find one or two other comps, but they were on totally different websites. They weren't on any of the platforms. You can't find any of these on eBay that have been sold or have been listed. But it's just this amazing all over print Blonde Ambition tour. It says, never look back. Life isn't fair. It says, it's got all kinds of stuff on it. I am a sexual threat. But this is just like an
I need to wear that shirt.
But look at that. This is from 1990. This is just a really cool Madonna shirt. I paid $90 for this. I think I should be able to at least make my money back. But I'm
right. See, more. Cheryl says, you promise no sell. ET, no go home. I agree. But
the price is right.
If the price is right, if she gets $500 for it, she'll sell it.
Well, I might start it lower because I told Chessie that like people were offering $350. He's like, you should have sold it. So it just depends. And here's the thing is, like I said, I didn't get the amazing shirts that I wanted to for this week, and so it depends on what the feel is. I'm gonna have it.
That Madonna shirt is disgusting.
Yeah, sick fire. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna start all my auctions at $1 when I go on later today. So you should definitely go and watch, join in on some of the bidding before it gets taken away. Hopefully.
Oh, Casey, the ET shirt was offered. She was offered $350 for it last week and didn't sell it.
Yeah.
So it's upwards of $350 if she's
I might be auctioning it though. Go watch me on the virtual flea at 4:30 today.
All right. Are you selling? Are you showing some more things?
You can go ahead and show your stuff.
Let's see. What do I have left? Not a whole heck of a lot. I do have a couple pairs of shoes I picked up pretty cheaply. This is a brand that I don't know if most of you guys know of. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before, but this brand Mephisto. This is a very good brand that you want to keep an eye out for. These are like new. These are in like fantastic condition. I paid about $10 for each pair of these shoes. These shoes I'm going to sell for 75, 85 bucks. I got that pair, and this is another pair. I did pay up. I paid $15 for these, but these are new. These are Mephisto as well, and these are new, unworn. And again, I'll probably about 75, 85 bucks. Mm-hmm. So,
Barry in the chat giving me props. He was on earlier today. Did a really good job.
You did do a good job, Barry. Even I watched.
It's true. Even Vikki watched. And the thing about that ET shirt. So I see Casey saying that there's another one that's really cool. It sold for like $250. The thing about this one is it was a sample t-shirt, and it's actually hand painted, airbrushed, and screen printed, and it was a sample for Universal Studios. So you're just not going to find that same shirt anywhere. It's a really cool shirt. It's a large, by the way, you're asking. But yeah, it was really fun watching Barry. He had some awesome band t-shirts. And
you had some great band t-shirts. Soundgarden that went.
1989 Soundgarden.
He had Kicks. Which I love, even though I don't think anyone else there appreciated the Kicks shirt. But I'm an East Coast girl. I love Kicks. And then he had a couple of other ones that were really good.
Yeah. Casey, the ET is a large. It's a large, my dear.
What else do I have? I have just, can you lift that up? I can't even lift it up.
I can lift it.
So this is, again, this is my scouter, Katy, who grabs things for me when she's done looking for herself. This is actually just a new in open box overhead garage door opener, electric garage door opener. I paid $30 for it at Deseret, and I have it listed for $300 on Amazon right now. It'll go for $300 on eBay as well.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
So $30.
Pretty sweet.
Oh, I know it weighs like 35 pounds, and you're sitting down. But yeah. So this I've got 3 pieces. Oh. Shit,
I'll go get it.
I have less than 3 pieces right now to show. One fell off. Anyway, so this came from a reseller friend. So this is a true vintage 1950s, maybe even early 60s. I'm trying to get to the camera. I hate this stupid thing. Vintage Letterman sweater. It is in mint condition, a wool Letterman cardigan sweater. So this one will probably sell for, I don't even know. I haven't even comped these in a long time, but at least 200. Did anything break?
I don't think so.
I think it landed on something. This also came from a reseller friend. This is vintage. Again, true vintage, probably 60s, maybe early 70s. Heavy leather biker jacket with a Sherpa lining. This is a really heavy, nice zipper. The zipper may be a replacement, but it is a vintage replacement if it is. It's just super shiny. It's a really heavy, thick talon zipper. But I think I can get about $300 for this jacket, maybe a little bit more.
Size?
What size? For the jacket or the Letterman sweater? I'm not sure what you're asking for.
I think the really old vintage, this is a question about the Letterman sweaters. I think some of the old vintage ones do really well.
Yeah, the really old Letterman sweaters do very well. It just depends on the condition. Even crappy condition does very well, and that is like in mint condition. I've never seen one in condition like that. I have not comped a vintage one that old in a very long time. So honestly, that is something people asking about if we check for comps. That is something I would be checking comps on before I price. So the Letterman sweater, that's a good size. I want to say it's probably a modern day. It doesn't say, but it's a good size. Like it would fit me. It's like a modern day men's medium to large.
Yeah.
Okay, so this again, this jacket will probably be around $300. This is like a 60s. I probably gonna look this up a little bit more. It might even be earlier than 60s. Sherpa lined steer leather.
So Taylor wants to know how often we keep and rock the items that we find.
I never do.
Well, that's not entirely true. We basically look at our inventory as like our costume closet. So there are times when we need to like wear certain types of things to go.
That's true. We had Hawaiian week for camp this week, and I rocked a muumuu that came out of my inventory for that. So I very rarely do. Here's the reason being, my stuff that I sell a lot of vintage. A lot of the vintage is women's vintage. I am a very busty woman, to put it lightly, and there are women's vintage clothing was not made to fit a body like mine. They were made. People were much tinier then, so most of it I can't wear. I would, if I were tiny, I'd wear it all day long. I would dress only in vintage.
Yeah. I will say I'll probably be doing a lot more of it because now that I've been doing the virtual flea and I'm getting more plugged into that community on Instagram, and so I'm gaining a lot of followers that are looking to buy. I am actually more actively looking for and picking up some really cool stuff that I would totally wear myself and keep for myself if I was willing to spend that kind of money, but I might as well wear it once or twice before selling it, basically.
So Jinx asked, you have Harley jackets in 3X and 4X. You should get $200 for them easily if they're that big and they're Harley jackets for sure.
There's some big daddies out there who want to ride.
That vintage jacket is on the small side, so that one, like I said, probably around $300 for that one. And I have just 2 more things to show. And Katie, I don't know if you have anything else, but
I'll show a couple things.
Let me see. I have this gorgeous 1960s vintage raccoon full-length jacket. It is, it's stunning. It's in beautiful, beautiful condition. You know, people talk about fur, not wanting to sell fur. I personally wouldn't buy a brand new fur coat. That's just my own personal choice. But vintage furs are gorgeous. And this thing has been already dead for 50 years.
You're not contributing to an industry.
Rather than it end up in a landfill, this is the type of fur you should be wearing. Faux fur or old fur, long dead.
Yes.
So this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. It's from Kaufman's, which is a high-end department store. This will probably sell for about $500 or so.
Crazy and luxurious. That's just nuts.
And again, with the vintage fur, this is vintage. This is like 60s, 70s all day long.
That's really cool.
This is vintage Ole Cassini.
Oh, Ole.
And this is leather. It's a patchwork of fur. It's all mink. It's dyed mink. There might be a couple. I think the lighter patches might be rabbit, the white patch. But I think it's all dyed mink with leather trim. And then this is just a sheared mink collar, which means it's shorter. And then this is the natural long fur. This one is actually really, really cool. It has some very nice leather trim on it. This is another one, probably about $275, maybe $375.
That's crazy. That's just crazy.
That's it. That's it.
All right. Yeah. So it's a little after 3:30 now. So again, guys, I have the link down below to follow Chris at 1980 something co. So if you're following him and you're following my Instagram, which is a boutique for him, at 4:30, maybe a little bit later. Basically, he'll be live at 4:30. But if you go in at 4:30 and I'm not on, that might be because he's running a little bit behind. But I'm supposed to be from 4:30 to 5:30, and I would love to see some of you in the chat. I'd love to see some of your support, and also, you know, have a good showing for my set, because my hope is that I'm not going to have to rely on winning a raffle every month. I'd love to be able to actually be invited back, because I feel like I can, you know, if he thinks that I can give a good set, be somewhat entertaining, and be somebody that people want to see. But
yeah, so vintage fur is one of those things. I do only ship within the US on vintage fur. I will say that there are certain other countries that you can ship to without restrictions. There are some states that you're not allowed to ship out of if you happen to live in that state. There are some state restrictions on selling fur, even vintage. Nevada is not one of those states, so we don't have those type of restrictions here. So if you're selling vintage furs, just look the rules up, know them for your own state. I think New Jersey is maybe one of them, or Philadelphia, that if you happen to live there, you're not supposed to ship across state lines. So that doesn't apply to me. I can certainly ship into that state. And then there are certain countries that you can't ship fur into. So generally I mark them as within the US only, but I will say that if somebody from another country that it is allowed in wants it, they will message you, because I have definitely sold furs overseas. It's only the country's restrictions are kind of strange. So I will entertain the offer if it's legal, and then if it is, I make it available for them to purchase. So it has happened. I've been selling vintage furs for many years. I really love them and appreciate the quality and the construction. Again, whatever your opinion is on fur, I personally wouldn't buy a new fur coat. I don't want to contribute to that industry, but I think vintage is something that can live for a very long time and should be taken care of and cherished and honored, because if you're going to have something like that, make sure if it's already sacrificed its life, then let's make sure that it lasts for a long time.
Buying vintage is not going to contribute to the current making of furs, because nobody has that kind of, nobody's willing to put in the time to, like, okay, I'm going to make this fur now, and hopefully in 30 years people are going to want it. So it's not really a worry. So Tommy wants to know how many shirts I need for an hour of virtual flea, and they don't want me to sell ET. But here's the thing. Yeah, I have over 1,000 t-shirts in my inventory, but for an hour, I really need to have like 8 solid t-shirts that are going to be like really like more exciting. Now these two are like top of the heap, like the most exciting. But you really want to have like 8 really good pieces. And then while they're running an auction, you're showing your other more mid-level stuff, but some really cool stuff too. I have a lot of t-shirts that are cool, but they're not necessarily like going to be exciting for somebody watching a live. One of the guys that went earlier, like I could hear Vikki downstairs, and she kept saying like, wow, he has really good stuff. Wow, he has a lot of really awesome pieces. And that's kind of like what you want to have people doing, is when they look at your stuff, you want them to be like impressed and excited and wanting to buy your stuff.
I've watched some people where they have one good piece and a bunch of mediocre shit for $25 or $35, and that's not going to hold anybody's attention. You want to have, you can throw a couple of mediocre pieces in there for sure, because there's always going to be a buyer, but you want the excitement on the higher price, better quality, more original looking things. Obviously, like anything else, it's, you want to, you know, you need to stand out, or you want to try to stand out. And she's got some great pieces this week, don't get me wrong. I've
got a whole rack over here set up with pieces, and I have,
and it's just t-shirts. Like,
it's
really, when we get into the colder months, she's got some fantastic jackets and sweatshirts and things to sell too. It's just right now people are really buying tees. Tees are hot.
I've got like this awesome 94 Slayer t-shirt, which I may or may not do as an auction, or I'll do a set price of $150. I think this is really cool. Again, this is like one of those things where you're like, are other people going to think it's cool? Are enough people going to think it's cool? Because this is MCI, you know, the long distance phone carrier back in the day when us old people had to like pay for long distance separately from your regular phone service. But it's this really cool all over print. So the question is, are there going to be enough people watching that think it's cool and are going to bid it up? So I have to just kind of like decide on that. But I've got like this one is going to be auctioned. It's a Beastie Bucks, and this is like a Little Rascals Beastie Boys play. This is like an 80s t-shirt, so I'll probably auction this one too. Have no idea how much it'll go for. This is one of those ones where maybe it'll only go for like $85, but I think it's a cool shirt. And then I have a few others, but man, I am super bummed that I don't have this really cool glow in the dark vampire shirt with Nosferatu. I'm super bummed that I don't have that box from Derek, and it's absolutely not Derek's fault. He shipped it at his earliest possible time, and then the USPS just didn't deliver, and so I'm not going to get that until tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. But
USPS is kind of crappy lately.
Yeah,
I gotta be honest. Like, you know, Amazon Prime is not 2-day anymore. Amazon Prime is 5 to 7 day shipping. I bought a bunch of stuff on Prime the other day. Like, I buy a lot of our household stuff on Prime, and not that I need it in 2 days, so it's not an emergency, but I bought something on Thursday. Amazon Prime delivery day is expected of this Thursday. That's a week.
Yeah.
That's a week.
Somebody
and Amazon delivers on Sundays. So
2-day priority with a delivery date of Friday, and I'm going to end up getting it on Monday. So Wednesday to Monday. That is completely unacceptable for priority. But now I know if I'm in a pinch like this where it's like, okay, I need to have some shirts for.
You're going to have to express it.
I'm going to have to express it, which, you know, I basically would have just had them send me the 3 shirts that I'm really hyped about and stuff them into an express padded envelope because it's $20. It's like $23. Mm-hmm. And I would have done it that way. But
that's right. Tommy, we do need to get her to MVP so she can be on again next week. Well, we won't be here next week. You won't be able to do next week.
Please get me to MVP because I can just tell him I can't do it, and I'll ask him if I can do it the following weekend. So
that's true.
So yes, you can vote for me for MVP. Go ahead and come and watch, though, please. Come and actually watch.
Don't just vote because that feels like cheating.
No, I don't want it to be cheating, but come and watch, please.
That's why she didn't ask for votes in our group.
Yeah, and it'd be really cool to have you guys there, and I think it's definitely a learning experience. And everyone that's been watching it so far is like, man, I need to go out and do some t-shirt shopping. That'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut this out for us today because I got to finish the last minute getting ready stuff, and I'm going to test my setup over on my other Instagram in a little bit. But please follow the link down below to 1980 something co. So you can check out the virtual flea at 4:30 to 5:30 Pacific time. So in less than an hour. So I'll probably be starting in about an hour.
Aw, Jinx, we're both MVPs. You're scared. That was sweet. That was sweet.
Aww, that's real sweet. But I mean, I'm technically the MVP. So
that's technically. It's all right.
Yeah, 4:30. Anyway, thanks, guys. We won't see you on Wednesday, but we will be back next Sunday, and we will be fresh.
We should have
not so fresh back from our Utah trip.
We should have some real good stuff since we're going to be on a 3-day sourcing marathon.
4-day. We're attempting to hit 62 thrift stores, so let's see if we can do that. Come back next Sunday, and you'll be able to see. Go check out my set first today, and then if you approve of my set today on Virtual Flea, give me a vote for MVP when they set that up later. So I'd appreciate it. All right, guys, we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye.